In a war-torn kingdom, a young man named Kian lived in a small, hidden village nestled in the mountains. Kian was no warrior by size or training, but he was sharp, both in mind and skill. He carried a single blade, a family heirloom said to never dull, and it was his only weapon. One fateful day, a troop of enemy soldiers marched into the valley, searching for hidden rebel camps. Their captain, a cruel man known as General Varric, declared they would burn every village unless someone stepped forward with information. Kian knew his people wouldn't survive such an assault. He volunteered to meet the enemy alone, with only his knife and his cunning. When Kian approached the soldiers, he carried himself with calm confidence. "General Varric," he called out, "I can give you what you seek, but first, let me propose a challenge. If I win, you and your men leave this valley forever. If I lose, I will personally lead you to every rebel hideout." Amused by Kian's audacity, Varric agreed. Kian's first move was to lure the soldiers into a narrow gorge by promising to reveal a hidden treasure. He led them along a twisting path filled with natural traps he'd scouted earlier. At one point, he climbed above the gorge, using his knife to dislodge boulders, which tumbled down and blocked the soldiers' retreat. The troop pressed on, growing more agitated. When they reached a dense forest, Kian used his blade to carve simple symbols into the trees, creating a trail that split into confusing directions. While the soldiers debated which way to go, Kian snuck ahead. Kian cut ropes that unleashed a series of traps, nets, swinging logs, and pits he'd prepared days before. Now the troops' numbers had dwindled, and their morale was shaken. Kian finally faced the remaining soldiers head-on in an open clearing. With his knife, he moved like a shadow, striking swiftly and retreating into the dark. His knowledge of the terrain made him untouchable. By the time dawn broke, Varric stood alone, defeated. His pride shattered, the general conceded. "You've won, boy. We'll leave your valley in peace." Kian watched as the enemy retreated, his blade still sharp, his wit sharper. From that day on, the villagers called him the Shadowblade, a legend of courage and cleverness whose name spread far beyond the mountains.